Good evening, my name is Bev Brown, Director of Customer Success for IHT. Tonight's webinar is the focus of the Spirit curriculum resources for both teachers and students. First, I'd like to make it very clear, a big thank you goes out to Lois Malk and Rachel Winston. They spent most of their summer putting these resources together and really focusing on trying to find the right formula for what teachers and students would need to help each of you show evidence of student learning while using the IHT system. We will start by going over the teacher curriculum resources. After you log into your IHT system, go to Teacher Curriculum Resources. After you click onto this hyperlink, you will notice that we have a little message there, and basically we want to make sure that everybody knows that we are not trying to be your curriculum. We are just trying to be a resource to add to your existing curriculum, to reinforce and to give you data of everything that's going on in your classes. So as you can see at the top, there's a heart rate zone chart, there's a fitness challenge, there's a blank one so that you can make your own. There's a weekly wrap-up for students. This weekly wrap-up for students we'll go over in a little more detail when we get to the student resources. Then the next part is some templates. Teacher Unit Planner Outcomes Template Stage 1. So we're following Wiggin and McTighe format. This is Stage 1, and these are writable PDFs, which allows the teachers now to take what we've already started with some of the units that we've given you as examples, but now use the same format for the rest of your curriculum if you choose to and you would like to continue on with this format. So Stage 1 is the content standards and outcomes. As you move on down the page, it gives you a place for the enduring understanding, your essential questions, knowledge, what the students will know, and skills, what students will be able to do. Stage 2 then of our teacher resources is about the assessment, the evidence. So what kind of task will the students perform that will show evidence of the standards that we have highlighted in Stage 1? And then what is the other evidence? So not only do you need the performance task, but you need the criteria. And we give you many examples of this by using the IHT system. The third stage then is what most of us are familiar with and what we've been putting together for many, many years, and that's our learning plan. Looking back, anchoring in the national outcomes or whatever your outcomes may be. It may be local, it may be state, but writing those outcomes, keeping them in front of us so we know where our focus is. Then looking at our opening activity, thinking about our warm-up. That warm-up is extremely important. Get the blood flowing. We all know our white blood cells is what helps heal the body. We need to help our kids understand that part of our class is to build up that immune system. So after we get the blood flowing, going into some type of fitness development. And there's so many different ways that we can do that in exercise science. Then some type of skill progression, as well as an activity name, your cool down, and your closure. Along the side here, we have left a little space so that you can think about, if I have a 40-minute class period, how much time do I want to spend in the various aspects of my lesson plan. At the very bottom, resources as needed. Now to show you what this can look like, I'm going to open up in Unit 1, Fitness category. We did put these into the different categories that's outlined by Shape America. So for this example, I'm going to click on Cardiovascular Unit Plan for middle school. The way we broke this down is because there's different standards in middle school and high school. We have a middle school unit plan as well as a high school unit plan. So for now, I'm just going to click on this. Here's our standards, as you can see, and outcomes and the support that goes with it. Everything is outlined to what we are going to be focused on during the unit. The unit sometimes could be 8 lessons long. Sometimes those units may only be 5 lessons long. We've written in the enduring understanding. So what do we want our students to know that will go beyond just the unit itself? It's those things that we want them to hang on to for years to come. Essential questions. We should never have our essential questions go above 3, and so in all of our units we try to give a couple examples to help you along there. What the students will know, what the students will be skilled at. When we get to stage 2, once again, here's our performance task. We have a task 1 and a task 2. Then what will the criteria be? As we have developed our lesson plans, we have tried to outline this extensively throughout all of the units that we have uploaded for IHT. And then this is just some more examples of what tasks could look like. As you see here, it says student resource worksheets. When I get to the student resources, I will outline this a little more clear at that time. But we've tried to anchor right into the lesson plan which resources will align for those particular classes. Now I would like to show you one of our stage 3s just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we've done. So here's our learning plan. The learning plan is the introduction of the zones. This is actually lesson 2 for our cardio. We're going to explain low, moderate, and vigorous. We're going to review the benefits of heart rate training and monitoring our heart rate. And we're also going to use, as you see here, we're going to use the Heart Fit zone chart. When you look back at our teacher resources, right here is our heart rate zone chart. This is available for all of you. You can print it. You can use it on a PowerPoint. You can use this also from a projector and project it up on the wall so that the kids start understanding what low impact, moderate, and vigorous really means. And we want them to understand that each zone has a purpose within our curriculum as physical educators. Back to the lesson. We also give you a timeline for those people that are using the chest monitors. We've left that in here for you so that the blue zone, we are able to explain that to the students, and we're able to help them understand what the various chimes are intended for during the time that they're working out with those chest monitors. So not only do we have clients or customers with the wrist monitors, but we still have customers with the chest monitors. Then as we progress through all of our lessons, we give you a description of what we could suggest as a warm-up. But if you have a warm-up that you do and your kids like, by all means continue to do that. Once again, these are just suggestions. So then we go into the fitness activity. This particular one is push-ups, curl-ups, jumping jacks, and the inchworm. Then we go into our skill development, go into our activity, our cool down, which is super important, especially if you have kids that struggle from time to time with their behavior. We always want to make sure that we bring them back down out of the zone. And as you scroll on down through, it will give you examples of stretches. Then when you get to the closure, we will normally give you some type of a question that you can use as debriefing that will directly link back into the objectives of today's lesson. That's a quick overview of one of our lessons. And as you go down through this chart, you can see that we have fitness category. We also have dance and rhythm. We have games and sports. As we continue to work during the summertime, we as a staff will continue to build on the lessons that we provide for our customers. If you go back to the dashboard, and you go down a little bit further, you will see student curriculum resources. Once again, we saw in the teacher resources where at the bottom of the lessons it will talk about various worksheets and those type of things to link to. All of our student resources are PDFs, and they're writable PDFs. So those people that have Google Classroom, they have Canvas, or they have some type of a learning management system where they're able to copy our URL and save those PDFs and then upload it into their systems, Then the kids are able to write in the answers and then submit it right back to you in their class periods. And this is where technology has just really made our profession better. Once again, these are resources to enhance your existing curriculum. So one of the first resources I'd like to show you is the benefits of heart rate training. This is a 2-page read. It explains the benefit of heart rate training, the benefits of cardiovascular fitness, facts about the 3 zones. Like I said, this was a 2-page read for your students. At the very bottom, as it talks about the benefits of each zone, and we slide to the bottom, it will also show then the blue for low impact, the yellow for moderate, and red for vigorous. To go along with this read, if you go to the second, Understanding the Spirit Zone, this will show you, this will link to that reading. So now the kids, did they really read it and did they understand it? One thing that I do want to clarify is the third question down. What are the 2 different comparisons that the Spirit system displays at the end of each workout? That is your calories burned and then your heart rate, the amount of time in each of the various zones. Which leads us to reading your data. So reading your IHT data, this would be a great resource for like a flipped classroom opportunity. Have your kids go through this worksheet before you start sending emails home and before maybe you talk about the emails that are going home. We want our students to be knowledgeable about that email going home. That way if parents are asking, hey, I got this email, or a student shows that email to their parents, we want our students so knowledgeable that the parents will not have a need to call or email our teachers that are using our system. So if you look at this worksheet, you see that there is a goal, and under this goal it says 28 minutes, that's health enhancing movement. So we got that 28 minutes with 12 minutes at vigorous, 16 minutes at a moderate level. You add those together and you get 28 minutes of health enhancing. You also have the low impact. You have 12 minutes in this particular lesson as the goal set by the teacher. This is our body weight exercise. This is our flexibility time. This is also time that we need to set aside for instructional purposes. Then you have the actual accomplishment of the student. So when you look at this particular one, they had 38 minutes of health enhancing, 1 minute of vigorous, 37 minutes of moderate, with 15 at a vigorous level. So the worksheet will take the students step by step and cover all the various information that is listed for the emails going home. So spike ball is the name of the activity. It was on Monday, September 28, 2015, the time of the day, what the peak heart rate was, what the minimum heart rate was, and also how many calories were burned. So as we continue to move through the semester and we think about building this up as a progression, and we want to show evidence that the kids are actually opening up the emails, it's great that we collect the data. It's important that we get the data in front of the students, in front of the parents, so that they're able to see what's going on in class. But now we need something that's going to help us show evidence that the students are picking the emails up and they're actually opening them up. So we have a worksheet that's called Weekly Wrap-Up. Now, I realize that some of you teach every other day PE. This might become a bi-weekly wrap-up sheet. So if you think about the email or the last worksheet that I just went over, what's nice about this is the students get their emails. Now they put in the information. So the minutes in the blue, the yellow, the red, the health enhancing of yellow and red combined, and how many calories burned. Once again, the calorie burned, we need height and weight listed, as well as our age for the heart rate monitor. So we do need all those demographic things into our systems. If for some reason your calories, this is a question Lois and I get quite often, if the calorie burned is not being calculated, it's because there's not a height and weight in there for your students. The middle part of the worksheet, cross-curricular, working with math, but we're working with math that's important to our subject area and it's relevant to what we're doing in our classes. Higher order thinking skills, compare, contrast this weekly results with last week's. So now we're trying to get our students to start understanding various ways that they move, but also then how that energy is used with the body. And then the very last part of this worksheet is what are my goals and intentions for the upcoming week. Goal setting is very important, especially when it comes to our health. As we continue to look at the resources for our students, Unit 1 is about how to use a heart rate monitor. Unit 2 is about fitness. Unit 3 is self-awareness. Unit 4 is nutrition with a final wrap-up. We encourage you to take some time. We know